The running expression I've heard most recently is right now it's 20 minutes at the house, 2 hours on the report. Now it'll be 2 hours at the property, 20 minutes on the report. That's what they're shooting for.
I mean, literally the data about a home is the first page of the report. Mm-hmm. And now it's the first 15. So 15 pages, but they've also shuffled the appraisal report to where it's going to look more like a...
Hi, this is Roy with Appraisal Links, sitting down with Kathy Berhock, a licensed appraiser on our preferred panel, and just want to take a little bit of time to get to know her and ask her a few questions about the appraisal industry. So Kathy, let us know how long you've been an appraiser, how you got started, a little bit about yourself.
I've been an appraiser for over 30 years. I have my own company, Grading Appraisals. I got started because my family owned farms, and one farm turned into a neighborhood and got sold to a developer. And one farm went to the Fish and Wildlife, and now as part of a preserve. So I was in college at the time and seemed like a very interesting thing to be in. And then I met a couple of realtors, and one of my side jobs in college was sitting at a new home site and selling new houses. And I'm not a good salesperson because I'm just too positive. Like, I just think that, there's always something that's going to come up better, so I can't do that close. Like, you have to buy this house, or you need to buy this house. I always think that,
So this was like the happy medium.
This is the happy medium. Like, this covers my business and accounting that I took in college, and still involved in real estate, and it interests me greatly.
And I find, when you hear a lot of appraisal stories, like the background part, dad was an appraiser, so-and-so was an appraiser, somebody was related to an appraiser and just sort of got into it, but in this case...
Yeah, it's all organic.
Yeah, wow. That's
so very organic.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
So, of course, the topic of the day sort of right now in the appraisal world is the upcoming 3.6, the new data set. Where are you at with it, and what are your thoughts about it to this point based on what you know?
My office has been paperless for over 10 years. I have worked off of a mobile app, and I think I'm on my third iPad. So I bring it with me on inspections. It's very organized with my staff. Everything gets synced with your computer, and everything that's collected on site through that app with total follow mode. Pictures and everything get put on the tablet and synced with whatever staff member is typing that report.
Right. And they definitely want it to be more of that as opposed to tape measure, clipboard, sketch.
They're not poo-pooing that. I mean,
right.
The software companies, because I think of the age of the average appraiser, saying that you can still use your clipboard, because I still have someone with me taking notes and keeping hard copies, because everybody knows if you depend too much on technology, it's going to let you down. So we still keep a running paperwork along with the tablet, but the tablet keeps us basically paperless, so that really the only thing that we have is that one sheet of clipboard paper with some notes, along with notes that coordinate with this.
So that's sort of like your backup to what you're putting into the
Right, but it's always good to have a backup, and then of course the tablet syncs with the cloud, and the cloud syncs with my phone, and if everything's backed up 10 times.
Right.
But the software has really said, you do not have to use a tablet, because there's a lot of appraisers that don't. A lot of appraisers are pen and pencil still.
Yeah. Yep.
Clipboard, they either use their phone, or they use an old Canon with an SD card, and that's the way they take, and that works fine for them. For me, I mean, it will be seamless. I think that they want us to do a lot of the gathering of data, and they've taken it from like 200 data points with the new form to almost 1,000, depending on what type of property it is, and then that generates the report. So they really haven't shown us like a clear picture of what the report's going to look like. Basically, they're saying is the software will be set up for you to put in the data, and the data will drive how the form will look.
Right.
So
the running expression I've heard most recently is Right now it's 20 minutes at the house, 2 hours on the report. Now it'll be 2 hours at the property, 20 minutes on the report. That's what they're shooting for.
That they would like that, but I don't think that that's the most economical way to do things. And it's not comfortable for people to spend 2 hours in a house that's
Sure.
either vacant or under construction, or that the homeowner's there for a refinance and they're like, is this a home, are you gonna, check under the toilet seats? It's like, all right, you shouldn't have to be there that long. The other part is that 3.1 is ready to go form-wise, but all the software companies that I've talked to don't have the plugins to support the software. So
Right.
Bright is not plugged into the software. USPS is not plugged into the software. None of the Google Maps and anything that we would put is plugged into the software. So it's going to all be very manual if at this stage, because this is their second stage, second quarter is when they're trying to get all that synced up so that you can produce a report without manually cutting and pasting everything into the report or typing it out physically. So appraisers are saying it's taking a whole day to get a report done.
Right. Which of course is going to impact the fee
Well,
based on the polls.
you've taken what's a regular form. I mean, literally the data about a home is the first page of the report.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's the first 15. So 15 pages, but they've also shuffled the appraisal report to where it's going to look more like a general report for commercial property where you have what you're describing, whether it's the kitchen and it's going to have a picture of the kitchen. You're going to be all right, it's going to have tile on it.
Almost a narrative form.
Almost in a narrative type of form. But you're going to have narrative illustration, where now it's like all the illustrations on the back end.
Right.
And now it's going to be kind of shuffled together, where you're going to read about one room and see the picture, and read about the description of the picture and the condition of that and what formulates that room: tile, carpet, drywall walls, drop ceiling. What is it about that picture? And you're going to make a description about it.
So we're covering a lot of ground about 3.6, and of course, as much ground as we're covering, there are still aspects that we don't know for sure. But based on what you do know at this point, what do you think in general, if you were advising someone, how do you think they should prepare, whether it be say lender or agent, or obviously I think the objective is to try and make it simpler for the common person to read an appraisal report, because right now the current setup could be a little confusing. Supplemental addendums, certain areas they don't know where to look and whatnot. This is supposed to help extrapolate, make it simpler, but what is your opinion and advice in that respect?
One of my closest friends is an accountant, and when I look at an IRS tax form, it seems like gibberish to me. And it's really just for the government. And this technically, as an appraisal, is just for the government. It isn't supposed to be understood by the average man. It's supposed to be a government form for government reporting. So, the change might make it easier to read. I don't think that was their goal from the beginning, considering they started bringing in acronyms for different things, whether it was a QC, Q1, 2, 3, 4, or a C1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
I don't believe that they wanted to make it clear to the average person. They wanted it.
It was just how they tried to promote it.
And they also wanted to mine the data that appraisers are providing.
Okay.
So that they could, do their own back lending, cross-checking of what we produce, which is fine. More than 50% of loans are done without an appraisal. And it should be probably more going down the pike, considering all the data that they do have.
Certain lenders have told us that, in their opinion, they're starting to see a little bit of a decline in appraisal waivers. Do you think that's coincidental with the inevitable launch of 3.6?
I don't know.
Just your viewpoint, not necessarily.
Every loan is different. That's what makes this job exciting. So can you, what triggers a waiver could be many things. It doesn't necessarily have to be the house. It could be this credit score. It could be the money in the bank. There's so many different puzzle pieces that go together with purchasing a home, whether you're the investor, the homeowner, what what's your purpose for buying that house? So with that in mind, I don't think that, I think there will always be some waivers and there will always be full appraisals.
Sure.
Just because of the puzzle pieces that have to fit together.
Okay.
You know, and I don't think it's going away. I think they're just trying to gather more granular data to cover themselves, to make sure these loans are more secure and that the, loan default rate goes down and that everybody can be a little more, because in the end, the people that have to get a mortgage, you're not buying a house with your money. You're buying a house with, Bob and Kate who saved their money at the local bank, and the bank is taking that money and funding the loan.
Right.
So you have to remember, it's not your money, it's some other person's money.
Yeah, right.
So
absolutely.
That's what secures the loan.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now do you have, any other advice or anything that you want to share with people while you have a chance to send out a message? Anything you'd like to say to the appraisal community?
I'm not afraid of the change. It's just going to be clunky. And it seems like it's not being rolled out well. But the other change wasn't rolled out either back in 2003. We remember it was kind of tough. Mm-hmm. A lot of people didn't want to make the change, and everything kind of went very quickly. There was software that wasn't ready. It was clunky.
Yeah.
I mean,
it went through a couple iterations as it was launched.
Right. So it might be, we've always been very tech savvy, and this will be more tech savvy. That I'm not worried about. I was the first person in my office to type a report. We had secretaries, and you hand wrote the report. I was the first person to use a digital camera. Everybody was still running to the camera shop and scratching on their little things. And
you used to have to get a roll of film and take it to a place and develop pictures. That's
right,
how
and then you used to glue the pictures on the thing. And then
staple.
We used to have a table twice the size of this. It was like something you'd see in a lunchroom, full of, telephone book size of all the sales, and you'd flip through them and pull out your comps. Like nothing was on the computer. Yep. So when we started going more computer friendly, more data, it's just it is tough to change. Will the change be good? Yes, but who's it good for?
And then my last question, which is I would say right behind 3.6 as the hot topic. Which is this goes across the board, but we'll focus on appraisals. The integration and use of AI. Of course, there's a general concern, right, that AI automation is going to take over and appraisers are going to basically be weeded out and not needed. And I just want to, what is your viewpoint on that?
Well, it could happen. Can it? As long as someone keeps thinking that a home is a place to improve upon and put their money in, and it's an investment, people will keep improving upon and making their houses nicer and better, where some people will not. So it will take someone to go in to make that judgment of how nice that house is and how much square footage it has. And yes, you can use AI tools to help you with that, but again, it's still, homes are for people, and another person has to decide what, with the backup of data from other sales, what that home, how that home would be marketed and market value. You know what I mean? Like you're not asking a computer to live in the home, you're asking a person.
Right.
So
and
I don't
that's
think
the
you can
difference
take that.
between offer acceptance and things like that.
You can't take that humanness out of it, because it is a place for a person to live, not a computer.
Great point. Great point. Absolutely.
So.
Well, there you have it. Again, Roy from Appraisal Links talking with Kathy Berhock. And Kathy, if anyone needs to reach you, do you have a website page or?
Oh, it's greatappraisals.com.
There you go. There you go. This way, if you have any questions, or want to reach out to her, want to work with her, that would be the best point of contact.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.